Hello everyone, this is Rosemary, and this is my journal for the Traveler's Notebook Vintage Swap. And here's the cover. Cover is a Santa Claus that from a Christmas card. I buy my Christmas cards at thrift stores, and this one had a lot of Santa Clauses. The word believe, I first cut it also out of a Christmas card. And then I used all these different fibers up here and then around it right here, 3 different ones in a green. And it just looks kind of fun. It looks like it matches the Santa Claus, just a rich looking cover. See my button closure, and I saw a video, and I wish I would have noted who it was. They used the button, but they tied their bow on the back, which allows you to just open it up like this. So I think I really like that idea. Plus, it decorates the back, because you can see my back is kind of plain. And I left some extra lace there in case the journal kind of gets bigger. Now, if you look at it this way, I have about 5 little beaded, embellished paper clips there. And the idea, I decided to use them, and the other one is right there, to make it look like an ornament, you know. So there's 1 right there, 2, 3, and I use these because they look kind of like peppermint little candies. And so I thought this is a good way to use them. So let's begin. The center of the beginning has a small little booklet. You can write all your little list, and it's made out of a Christmas card. And here's the pocket, and these are journaling cards I made from leftover paper, and all I did was glue it onto a index card, and then I just sewed around them. Down here you can see a quote: at Christmas play and make good cheer, for Christmas comes but once a year. So that is the pocket right there. And this right here is also from an envelope of a Christmas card. You know, these sometimes some of these Christmas cards have these beautiful envelopes. And this had this big shape, which I really liked, and I cut it out and put a snowflake. So this journal is going to show you how, when you have these envelopes, you can cut out images. Here's another image right here, and you can even use the flap, because I needed this maroonish color, and I kind of used the flap of an envelope, and I will be pointing that out as we go through this. This is an example right here of an envelope, and I put it on some probably index card, glued it on, and then I fussy cut, and so this gives you a wonderful image without printing. Plus, you know, you use the Christmas cards, and then what do you do with the envelopes, right? And so I used a lot of my scrap paper. This was some borders that I had used in a previous journal, and it makes wonderful pockets. I got all this wonderful paper from my friend Merlene, who was, she had too much paper, and so I said, of course I'll take it. Anyway, this is also a Christmas card. This is an actual Christmas card that I just like that vintage feel of it. And so I fussy cut it around, and then I glued it. So it makes a wonderful tuck spot kind of pocket right there for a large tag. This is just some scrap paper. And on the back is a memo. And this memo pad, this is I think maybe I only had a couple of sheets left over of it, and so I glued it on to the back of this to give it a little bit more strength. This is also the paper and a different layer there. And right here you can see this tiny little, I have some star beads right there, and you can just kind of see how it works for this. And I have some tags with just the word Christmas. Down below right here, this is also both this oval And this little image came from the envelopes of Christmas cards. And I kind of glued them together. It's a belly band kind of pocket. And there is my tag right there. And then again, this is a Christmas card that I cut so that it looks like a pocket, but it kind of blends in, as you can see, until you put the card in. And there you see it. There's a lot of room for journaling. And up here you see the Santa Claus. This came from stationery that, you know, when you find people write holiday letters. So I found this at a thrift store, and I used some of this. So I love to buy it at thrifts. And this is the back of a Christmas card that says, on Santa's list of who's been nice, your name appears not one but twice. And this is the back of a Christmas card. And down here at the bottom is also a Christmas card that I kind of cut it apart. And so the tag goes in there quite easily. And then the sentiment also is fun to receive. Right here is an invitation. This little Let It Snow. And you open it, so it's a card. And I don't know if you noticed, but I had to trim it right here. And I put the stars right up here at the edge right here. So it added a little bit like a tab to it. And so this is again another card. And this is a tag that I used from the front of a Christmas card. So again, I'm still at it using Christmas cards. I guess I just really have fun with them. Here's again another, the dangle right there that you can see it. And I left the paper pretty plain because built-in lines right there. And it's holding this tag in place. This is also an envelope that I trimmed, I fussy cut. And the image, now the paper it's glued on is also an envelope. And you see all this little swirling snowflakes up there? Okay, so I had 2 of them. So I decided to use them. And I hinged them with some lace, which I really like that effect. And the flap, I gave that so you can put a lot of, you know, sometimes you need space and place to put everything. So there's the envelope, and the flap is decorated, or you can journal on the envelope, whatever works for you. Some more of this stationery that I found, and I just think it's so cheerful. And this is kind of a fun little page. I wanted a pocket there, and I needed a paper that matched this, and I found it from a flap. So you see what I mean? This color kind of matches. So I pieced it together. It wasn't quite big enough. And then I covered it with, again, another strip of paper there. So there's 2 pockets. This is one pocket tuck right there. And right behind it is the other pocket. And you see it together, and it just really looks pretty. And yet there's a lot of places to journal or add pictures to it. This is the center of the signatures, and I tend to leave them kind of plain. And the center is a Christmas card that I must have cut the image out for some reason. And you can see when you open it, or take that tag out, wishing you the warmth and wonder of a joyful holiday season. So this is a very long tag that I made from napkin decoupage by, you know, gluing on a napkin, and it has a wonderful scene right there, and you turn it over. And here is, again, another long tag, and I covered it with napkin with a pocket right there. So that's the center of the signature right there. And here you see the envelope I was describing. This is a flap of a Santa Claus right there. And it flapped, so it opens up. Did I have another one over here? I know I have 2 flaps. Well, we'll see. So this is one of the flaps. And right here, this is a a Christmas card. I love this Christmas card. This, you know, a boy or a girl finds Santa Claus there. And it has an envelope right there with some paper. And I thought it would be a wonderful way of writing a Dear Santa letter right there. And it fits in, and the envelope little flap is right behind that. A Happy Christmas to you. This is also from a Christmas card, and you know, it's like this. It's a pocket, so I just kind of did some trimming there, and it fits in. And they're sewing. I was sewing in white, so you can't really see it, but it does add texture. Here is another little bead right there, and it is holding these two cards, ho ho ho, get it with Santa Claus right there, and this little ornament. Oh, this is the other flap. And this also came from an envelope, and I glued it on another paper so it's a little bit taller. And yes, all of these envelopes I glue onto index cards and then fussy cut because the paper is very, very thin. And here's that flap. Yeah, I had two flaps right there. This is a little decorated edge, and we close it. And again, this is the other half of the memo pad. Here's again a pocket with a large tag. And this is some scrap paper, and see the kids on a sled, and I thought the card Joy worked really well with them. And there you see the little star and beads right there. And then a tag. And peace, season of peace, and then we come to the end where there's two more tags and a candy cane. So this is my journal. It's vintage, and I really enjoyed it. I really sometimes have a hard time with vintage, but it was a lot of fun. Christmas cards. I guess I'm a Christmas card addict because when I start making my journals, this is how I get into the spirit of Christmas, by making Christmas journals using Christmas cards. And don't forget to use envelopes. If you see some images, use the envelopes, use the cards. Here's another image, and you can have a very fun journal. Now, you can pull it up from the center like this, which I really kind of like this, or you can pull it from the back, which I've done in the past. That's what my original idea was, and then you can kind of fluff up the bow. Whatever works for you, but I think I'm going to send it to the owner with the loop this way. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.